I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. I have a feeling that necromancer's outside.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here, as it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. They'll look to throw. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Kyle Hamilton picks it. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them, and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be. But early in this one, advantage defense.
You look at this Niner defense. They've had their trouble stopping the run, Charles. Currently 29th in the NFL in that department.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Tyler Luke on for the field goal. A 45-yard attempt.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the Ravens strike first at 3's him. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
off the play fake. He'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Brown. It's going to be a nice pickup, but he also takes a pretty good look at the end of that one. Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receiver's step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there. Every time the ball was 5 interceptions in that one.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. So nothing doing there. And it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
It's a 39-yard punt, 8 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage. That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. That's hard to do because you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards it.
Jackson Andrews on that one. 1st down, Baltimore.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the 1st down.
That'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper and 2nd down. The Ravens at 5 and 6 to start play. They come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and 5. Jackson going to throw quickly here, complete. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 14-yard line.
And he'll be taken down here as it will take us to the end of the 1st quarter. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Quick.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. The flag comes in. It's incomplete. And I'm not sure he was still behind the line when he let that one go. Yeah, we kind of sensed that one. He got a little too far forward before throwing, and that one will set them back.
And remember, at the NFL level, being aware of where the line of scrimmage is crucial. And here's the other part. Any part of the quarterback's body that's near that line of scrimmage, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. So he was clearly over the line.
So scores on their first two possessions, but 6-0, so field goal is probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Looking to put a drive together. They go play action here on first down. Going for the deep ball. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. A great effort there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the 49ers strike quickly here to tie up the ball game. Extra point splits the uprights. And they take the lead here at 7-6. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've been settling quite a bit. They've been able to move the football some, but they've just been settling. That's one of the reasons they're down on the scoreboard.
I love that word you picked, settling, because nowadays in this NFL, you're thinking touchdown almost every drive because everything's so high-powered. Yeah, you'll take the field goal, but you always feel like you're leaving points out there when you don't put it in.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. 15 for the Niners there to first down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
And that was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Second and 10.
Let's go.
They'll set up to throw. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
It's a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 6.
Out of the gun now on third down. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Josh Downs from 19 yards away. And the Niners are able to add on to that lead. Now the extra point. Oh, I was just about to say he had missed an extra point all season, but there it is. His first miss, no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And he is out of bounds here on the return.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. And make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football, and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call. Mark off the 5 and keep it moving.
So the penalty now moves it up. It's 2nd and 10. From midfield now, here's Jackson. And this is into the hands of Andrews downfield. And this will move the chains again as attackers 23. 27 yards there, a first down.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line.
They go play action with Jackson. Got a man, Boutte. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives him a first down.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a first and goal.
Jackson now. Throw right side is complete to Andrews, his tight end. A gain of 9 there, sets up 2nd and goal.
Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that.
The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Ravens are an extra point away from evening this one up. Extra point right down the middle. And that will tie things up at 13. All square now at 13 all as he sends this one away. And that one not returnable. It's over the back line to the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 30-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Touchdowns on back-to-back drives, so a very good flow right now offensively.
Hard to slow them down, too, because they are locked in. Feel like the offense coordinator is a little bit ahead of the defensive guys right now. They're beating them to the punch with their play calls. They've got a nice rhythm they're locked into. How can the defensive guys come up with something that'll disrupt that flow? That's what they're seeking right now.
Well, it's been an exciting sequence to watch. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. $13 yards remaining on second down. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one, hence the decline.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll set up a throw. That is caught. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Good start, throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Firing in that time, it was Nick Herbig. Credit him with a sack. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Back to throw here. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete. The pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on first down. Then a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback, because that was awfully close.
They're facing some long odds here if they hope to convert, as they're well behind the original line of scrimmage. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw.
He tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Loose inside the 30. Inside the 10.
And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown.
Luke now for the extra point.
And they will take a 7-point lead now.
Makes the score. Ravens 20, 49ers 13. Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback. And they'll bring this out to the 35-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive.
And with just under a minute to go, they might try to think about mounting a drive here if they can and get in the end zone to potentially tie this game up.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
Now a play fake here on first down. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted.
Picked off by Malachi Starks.
And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
After the interception, here's Jackson. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Off the play fake, here's Jackson.
A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Fred Warner. And the Niners will take over possession here up at the 44. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
And that is incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
In motion goes the tight end. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This taken in right around the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down for a nice little gain. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now it's 3rd and 3. To throw is Jackson. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Jackson to throw. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
4th down. Here's Jackson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half. Quick strikeout run by Jackson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11. First down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him? Either fellow receivers or offensive linemen. That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
With a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
To throw again is Jackson. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 17-yard line.
First down. First and 10 at the 17-yard line.
First down, they'll go to the ground attack. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Play action. It's Jackson. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Michael Williams picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. They'll look to throw here. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And that one will be no good. He never had it on line. It's well wide to the left. And that flag puts them on their heels a little bit more defensively as the officials walk it upfield.
Yeah, and they can blame the officials all they want, but bottom line, it's their own fault because, to me, that was an avoidable call. Stay focused and avoid major mistakes like that.
Following the penalty, they'll go back to the run game. That is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A great play there with his 14th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Ravens take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. The extra point up and good. And the lead now up to 14.
Ravens 27, 49ers 13. Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And this one over the back line of the end zone. Well, they definitely don't want to give him a shot at returning it. That's obvious. So the ball will come out to the 30. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They make their second half debut here, and things are looking a little bit tougher now. You give up the points there, Charles, that touchdown drive on the other side. So now it's a 2-score game here. Got to be careful.
They certainly do, and I'm just wondering at halftime if those guys just looked into each other's eyes and realize what they've got to get done and come out a little bit more charged up, because if they don't get some kind of points here, that next drive, that could make this a free possession game.
It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the fourth and final quarter. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on second and goal. He'll drop to throw. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Christian McCaffrey with a milestone career touchdown number 100. Joining Curtis Martin and Franco Harris at the century mark as he continues to climb the all-time list. And the 49ers have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. Now the try here for the point after. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around a training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
He'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
Now this offense on 3rd down today, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
Good clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3 and out.
And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Jackson. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. The Ravens go for it, but come up empty. And the Niners take over in terrific field position.
Ready? Ready? 19, Tiger, 19, Warrior, 17. Ready?
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it's caught inside the 10. And he'll finally be taken down at the 2-yard line. A big play there for the Niners. 42 yards. He had 1 touchdown earlier, nearly a 2nd one there.
Yeah, took a touchdown-saving tackle to keep him out of the end zone after a big play. Perhaps you go right back to him. Don't need the distance, but maybe he can pay things off after a big effort.
McCaffrey. will get into the end zone for a 49er touchdown. We are set up for a fantastic finish now. A fourth-quarter touchdown here. We're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know they're thinking about possibly going for two, but I'd go ahead and kick this one and just get it back to level.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the fourth. Well, this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Their own 35-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this fourth quarter to try and grab that lead back. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
You know, it's not just all athleticism from defensive linemen. Let's give them a little credit for their football intelligence as well. Read and react by them, understood the play call, and stacked it up and stuffed the run.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And space tough to come by there as they get maybe a yard to the 37.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. 49ers have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for 3rd down. Now it's Jackson. Open man is Flowers. He's got it. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Here's 2nd down. Jackson connecting with Andrews.
That's exactly what they were looking for. If they get another gain like that, they'll be right there in field goal range.
And the tension building. A big play in this football game. 3rd down and 1. Now a handoff looking right. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
I think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
The 31-yard line.
Plenty of time left, plus all 3 timeouts. Here's 1st and 10. Throwing, Jackson. Well, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
Just over 50 seconds remain. Here's 2nd and 10. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. All 3 timeouts still at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10 now. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And able to fade forward inside the 15 to the 13. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. They come up now on 2nd and 2.
Jackson to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. Well, the Ravens are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. Here we go, 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime, they just likely won this thing in regulation. Point after, right down the middle. And they will take a 7-point lead.
34, 49ers 27. Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And that one not returnable, not by a long stretch, over the back line of the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 35-yard line. One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So for the Ravens, the win gets them back to 500 at 6-6 on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Raiders will come to town. Meanwhile, for San Francisco, it's another week with more questions than answers as they fall to 3-9. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
On outside of Los Angeles, last stop in town before I hit the road, and it was hot. I said, man, point that fan at me, and I'll be good to go. Wasn't playing songs for long when came in candidly, but the prettiest young thing I ever saw. And she was hot, well, nothing short of masterpiece. I said, oh, I need to know, yeah, is that your man? Yeah, cause if it isn't, yeah, I'ma play my very best for you tonight. She said I have a proposition, every they want to take me home tonight. I said, what's that? And she said, if you can make me dance, I'll stay forever. If you can make me dance, I'll stay forever. So I sung how I wore when it came hard to breathe. Had to focus to make sure